Okay, good morning. Maybe wondering why the title. I read a thread on a sports card forum last night about the Chief Wahoo logo, and of course it delved into the Redskins and all that. Well, I think a perfect response to racism in today's day and age a great example of that would be Jay-Z's "The Story of OJ." And I've seen things. Oh, can white people enjoy the story of OJ? And I enjoyed the what out of it. Not for one thing, I like I enjoy music, all types of music, not only rap, rock, hip hop, classical, country, just about anything, reggaeton. I'm sure my wife would be proud that I said that. But I think it's a perfect response because he throws the racial epitaphs and things like blackface and things like that. He throws it right in your face. Plus, I like the fact that he's talking crap to OJ. He's like, "Oh, you're not black, you're OJ." Okay, so that's the way I look at it. It's like it's just like the old adage, "Sticks and stones may break my bones," blah blah. Right? Well, if you allow racism to affect how you view yourself, then you've pandered to what the racists want you to do. Like if somebody calls me honky or cracker or whatever it might be, it doesn't bother me because whatever their connotation for that word for me is, I'm not that person. I'm Corey. I'm not gonna lie and say that when I meet someone, I don't see color because that's impossible because I can see. I may be colorblind, but I could. That's kind of weird. It's fitting though because I don't judge someone that I meet. Yeah, if I meet someone that's that's homeless, I'm gonna judge the fact that maybe they made wrong decisions and that's why they're where they're at. Of course, things happen to people that they can't help. But like I said, I don't let what other people think of me affect my view of myself. So, kind of getting to this Chief Wahoo thing, that's where I understand that it offends people, but the fact that the Indians have taken something that may have been racist in the past and they've given such a cultural and sports icon to this caricature of an American Indian or Native American. I guess they don't like Indian because it was a mistake by Columbus thinking he was in India, but they were actually in the Americas. But anyway, I digress about that. So I understand that it does offend people, but the fact that you let something that's not intended now to offend and change your view. I don't know if it really changes their view of themselves, but it seems to me if you take something personal, then you personalize it yourself. So I would think I'm not saying that you don't have you're not don't have the right to have the opinion that hey it should be removed, but think about what you're doing when you say that needs to be removed. Yeah, it's a small portion that is offended by the Chief Wahoo logo, but the Indians they're in they've been moving to an alternative logo which is a block C, and a lot of people don't like that. But what they did maybe unintentionally and in the past when the logo was introduced, it was racist. But now to the point where it's been what 60, 70, 50, whatever, however many years the Wahoo logo has been in use, they've given it a pop culture status, whereas the logo isn't meant to be racist. It's not given in any kind of racist tone. You know what I mean? I mean, so the offensiveness of it seems trivial in exchange for the fact that it's taken a caricature, a negative caricature, and made it a positive caricature. I don't look at the Indians logo and think, oh, you know, Indians, huh? They're over exaggerated, they have big mouths, and they smile all the time. That's not what I assume when I see that. When I see the Chief Wahoo logo, I see someone who's happy to do what they're doing, whatever that might be. And in that case, is that this guy's happy to be playing baseball. You know, he's got a big smile on his face. So I don't take it or read it as negative. Although, you know, I'm not full-blooded Indian. My great-grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee, I believe. No, yeah, Cherokee. So my grandmother's mom was full-blooded Indian, but you know that has nothing, you know, necessarily to do with why I would be offended or not offended, because you know you're, like I said, you have that right, but it seems counterproductive to let someone else's image of you change your view of yourself. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, if I say the word nigga, I'm not meeting that in a negative connotation. And in my generation, we grew up hearing black men call themselves that in a positive way. So I don't take the word nigga as negative. Now, a black man, me saying that to him, may find that offensive and want to kick my ass. But I find that not ridiculous. I just find it odd that even though I don't intend it in a negative way, and I'm, you know, presenting it in a fashion just because I'm white, it makes it offensive for me to say that. But you've accepted it in your culture and made it popular for, you know, my generation. You know, I'm 40 and younger. So like what Jay-Z's doing with the, you know, story of OJ, he's throwing that in everyone's face and saying it doesn't bother me because you know what I'm doing? I'm still waking up every morning in you know, in my 1,000 thread sheet, you know, waking up next to Beyonce with, you know, $500 million in my bank account. He doesn't care what you think about him. Yeah, he's an artist and he wants to put things out there, but he doesn't come up with a song and say, maybe I should change this so and so will like it. No, he says, look, this is what I believe. This is the things that I view the world as, and whether you like it or not is not my problem, which is completely the case. So, although racism does exist, if you let it bother you, then you've let racism perpetuate exactly what it was intended to do. So if someone calls me cracker or, you know, white boy or, you know, whatever, square, if I let that bother me, then cracker and white boy and honky continue to be racial. Whereas if I say, oh, thanks, hey, yeah, you know what, I am a white boy, crack of this, crack of that, you know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. Not one bit. I'm not just saying, hey, it doesn't bother me, you know. Anybody in the world could come up to me right now and say, hey, what's up, cracker? The fuck are you doing? Trying to hold down everyone else in the world? No, you know, you're going to get a laugh out of me, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist and that things shouldn't offend you. I am saying shit shouldn't offend you. Why the fuck do you care what anybody else thinks of you? Don't let it affect you. You know, when somebody calls you a negative name, they're only hurting themselves if you don't let them hurt you. If somebody gives you a negative comment, it's just like the whole bully thing. Like if you stand up to a bully or you don't let that bully perpetuate his being a bully, then he can no longer be a bully, because who's he going to bully if there's no one there to belittle, which is the whole reason that they're bullying, because they need to belittle to bring people down to what their level is, whether it's intellectually or culturally, whatever it might be. There's a reason why they do that. So when you let them accomplish what their goal was, then they're going to continue to be what they're being. So if I don't let somebody offend me by what they say, then what they say doesn't matter. So in turn, it can't continue to roll if everyone has the same view. I'm not saying everyone should have the same view as me on everything. I just find the racism to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. As long as you're bothered by something, then that person is going to accomplish what they set out to accomplish. So in turn, even though you may get mad if you kick their ass, whatever, you report it to someone, which that's fine as far as, reporting it to someone, because, they should know. But as long as you allow that, then they're going to continue to do that. So, I guess I'm trying to say, if you take the power away from a word or an action or anything like that, then there ceases to be power. If I let someone take advantage of me, if I let someone, oh, you don't even borrow $10, okay, I let them borrow $10, and they never pay me back. Hey, and a month later, hey, can I borrow $20? Hey, yeah, sure. Just pay me back when you can. Boom. Okay, now they owe me $50. Whatever. If I continue to let that perpetuate, then not only am I going to be in debt, I'm allowing this person to accomplish what they set out to do, which was take advantage of me. However, if I let them borrow $10, they don't pay it back, and then come to me later and say, hey, let me borrow $10. Either if I say, hey, you let me, pay me back the $10, and instead of paying me back the $10, pay yourself back. So instead of borrowing $10 from me in turn, don't pay me back, pay yourself back. You owe me no debt, and now you've helped yourself out. So instead of perpetuating them being a mooch, a loner, and me being taken advantage of, I've stopped it in its tracks. They can no longer take advantage of me. They're not going to be they're probably still going to be a mooch, but you would hope that they would take something to heart when you really tell them. So that may change the fact that they're a mooch and say, hey, look, that guy had a good point. Instead of me borrowing another $10 from him and having to pay him back, why don't I get that $10 and pay myself? Yeah, and I don't know. Sometimes I find it hard to vocalize exactly what I'm thinking, but that was kind of some of my thoughts on racism. Not that it's not there, or it's stop letting racism perpetuate itself. If you have a problem, sure, it's fine to voice your opinion. I find that offensive. I'd appreciate it if you didn't say that. But don't let that racism or, someone's other view of you change your view of yourself. Because no matter what anyone says, you're going to be who you are, and only you can control that. So, anyway, that was my little rant. Not necessarily a rant this morning, but anyway, I digress. I just wanted to say a couple of things. So I just, I won't go into the Redskins thing too, but it's a similar type situation. So anyway, whatever your thoughts might be on the situation, I welcome feedback. I'm sure there'll be a lot of negative feedback, but I won't let it bother me. So, does it really exist if I don't let it bother me? I don't think it does. Anyway, we'll catch you guys on the rebound. We'll figure. It's a beautiful day here in Texas, so I guess I'm going to try to go enjoy this. Have a good day.